J.I, welcome to Hard Knock TV, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I see those classic albums in the background. That 8 Mile one different. That 8 Mile one is different. I see it.
I had to put some New York rappers up there for you too. We got Nas, got Method Man over here. I got Biggie. So I know you come from a strong lineage of rappers from New York. Take me back. I like to start interviews kind of like that. The first scene in a movie, right? So that first scene in the J.I. movie is coming through New York into Crown Heights during your childhood. What are we seeing? What are we seeing in your childhood in that first scene of the movie of your life?
You probably see me outside running around with my friends because that was probably like that was like a big part of my life, just my childhood, like the shit that I did. Me throwing, because we had on my block we have a shuttle train, and the train comes over the block. So every time the train came over the block, like we would do dumb stuff, like we would throw bricks at it, or like we would just try to get the train to stop and then run away so the conductor could get tight. We would play tag in the train tracks. We did a lot of crazy shit. Like we also tried, like my main thing at a young age was trying to get money. Like that's something I didn't have, or my family, like I saw that, like that was something that we struggled the most with having and obtaining. So for me, it was like a little hustle I developed, just going outside and selling shit to the people on my block or people walking around. I would sell CDs and books just to try to make money so I could eat that day. So it was crazy, like just my childhood growing up. It was fun too, because it's like as a child, I don't know, with me, the way I viewed life is like, I'm gonna hit a certain age and then my life is gonna change to something brilliant. But then it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, my life still changed and I got lucky, but like most people as kids, like we view life as something so beautiful. And it's crazy because we get older, then it's like, life ain't really that beautiful. You just gotta live it. And then you really start to see shit from a different angle. Like for me, I would have never thought I'd see the shit that's going on now with the protesting, the racist ass cops. It's fucked up because it's televised and it's broadcasted, so you see it everywhere now. You don't just hear about it and say, oh shit, so that's a rumor that happened. You can see it on your phone right now. It's literally in front of you to see it. It's in front of you to have an opinion on it. Like it's the shit that's going on right now is just ridiculous. And me being a kid, I would have never thought that this is what our world really is. Like as a kid, you have so much of an imagination of what life is, what's to come. But then it's just a big ass disappointment with everything, with all the rioting and all the disagreements and just the big ass disconnect we're on right now. It's just a whole nation. I feel like it's very like, but I got off topic real quick. But my life, the movie will probably start off with me doing something stupid as a little kid, for sure.
I feel like I want to take this conversation in so many different tangents because I want to talk about what you just talked about, all the stuff that's going on in the world now. But I still want to paint that picture of your childhood. So we'll go back to the childhood and then we'll fast forward to what's going on now. That childhood, so you're in Crown Heights, you're hustling to make money, selling books, CDs. What are the sounds when you think about that era? Like whether it's in your house or what's playing on the block, like what are those early sounds that you remember?
Cars coming down the block. I hear horns right now. I can hear the train. Please stand clear, the closing doors. I can hear just mad shit, yo. It takes me back, and not even to just being a kid, because I hear it to this day, just coming outside. But like, I don't know, like it was just mad stuff that goes into it, yo. Like for real. It was fun though. It was fun because as a kid, sky's the limit, yo. You think everything revolves around you, so it's like everything you do is just different. But now for sure, that's what I can remember right now off the top of my head.
What was the music playing in your household at that time?
It depends, because we could go to R&B real quick, take you to the 90s, early 2000s, or we could take you to the old school hip hop too. My mother was very unpredictable because she had like a soul for like R&B and old school hip hop, but then she, we Spanish too, so she threw in the salsa reggaeton shit that, it was just all types of genres in my house, I feel like. And then we had the Caribbean dance hall going on too, like, cause I'm a big fan of that, and I grew up listening to that personally. If you listen to my music, you can hear like certain type of records that kind of, so I grew up listening to that. So that was definitely like in my household all day, 24/7.
If we cut open the J.I. musical DNA and we examine it, like what are some of the influences that we would see in there?
Tupac, Big Pun, definitely Big Pun. Eminem for sure. That's why I mentioned that 8 Mile. Just cause, like, I mean, that's my favorite movie too. Like, anytime that movie is on, I could. It doesn't matter what part the movie's on. I could sit there and watch it. And I've seen the movie over 1,000 times. I can't watch a movie over and over again. But 8 Mile, just, those are probably the only three, to be honest. Tupac, Eminem, Big Pun. It was between those three, just because I looked at these artists for different things. Like, for Tupac, it was more of like a leader. Like, this guy's a leader. He can make the street music, he can make the love music, but he could also make the music that makes you open up your eyes a little bit to what's going on with the government, what's going on with police brutality, what's going on with the systematic racism. Like, he opened your eyes to a lot of stuff, Tupac, I felt like. So with Eminem, it was his childhood story, how he came up, him being white, him defeating the odds, his mother being on drugs, him living in a trailer park. Like, it was mad shit that went into him, because it's almost like the odds were stacked up against him, and he still, like, you feel me? He still went through with it and ended up being one of the top three. I mean, in my opinion, one of the best rappers of all time. Big Pun, another one for me, was just that whole Boricua, the heritage. He was a leader, and I felt like he was taking us somewhere no one ever took it for us. And he ended up, when he died, it was just a big shock to a lot of people. So for me, it's just like, damn, like, this is somebody who came before me, paved the way. What do I do? Yo, and it's funny because I was going to remake a Big Pun. Yo, bro, like, that's why, I don't know. Whoever's on this, they know what's going on. If you're on my team, if you Gabi, or if you not, and you on this, you know what I'm about to say. But I'm not even going to get in depth with it because it's not even that serious, and I'm not going to, like, shed the light on it. But I just want to give you an example. I had a Big Pun sample I was using because I'm a big Pun fan. Like, you could sit here and ask many artists, and they'll probably lie to you and tell you they listen to Big Pun. But bro, I had his Capital Punishment. Like, that was one of the first, like, body of works I had. Like, I got it. You understand me? That's somebody I looked up to. And it's weird because you put out certain ideas and then niggas copy you, and that shit just, oh my God, bro. But that was just an idea I wanted to do. I wanted to remake the Big Pun. It's so hard. Mm-hmm. Now, yo, bro, it's mad BS going on, but for sure, shout out to Big Pun.
I got that record in the background somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But, mean, being Latino, the first time I heard Pun, I was like, oh shit. Like, that was like, because it bridged both cultures for me. It bridged my hip hop culture and my Latin culture into one. And, other artists like Cypress Hill did that. And then there's definitely other artists, but there was something about the way that Pun, not only his charisma, but the way he used words and the way he painted pictures and his punchlines. And he was funny. Like, he had the whole package as an MC, man. It's definitely good to hear that, he was a big influence in your life, because I don't feel like enough people talk about Pun and Pun's legacy and what it's meant and the impact that it's had over time. Mm-hmm. If you had to pick 3 albums to represent who you are, what albums would those be?
Let me see.
Capital Punishment would be one, you think?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe Good Kid, Mad City. Bro, I can name so many classics off of that album alone from Kendrick, because that album just is different. Good Kid, Mad City definitely helped me. What else? Maybe like the LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, or like I guess those 3. I would give it like the LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, Capital Punishment, and then I would do Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick.
That's a good combo. That's a good combo of different generations. What made you want to be an artist? Do you remember?
At a young age, I just wanted to be different. I genuinely feel like certain people are born like this. Like, you got certain people that are born to be different, and then you got people that just defined it somewhere down the line. But for me, I feel like it was something that I needed to have. Like, as a little kid, I would just wake up and strive to be great. Like, I would strive to not be regular. I would strive like, yo, I know where I'm from. I know where I come from. I can't be the same as these other people. Like, I know y'all fucked up and y'all got your own situation, but I gotta get my situation right. And that's how I saw it at a young age, 10, 9. Like, that's why I was selling books and CDs, because I was trying to have money, yo. Like, I couldn't live with the fact that I struggled every day and I have to wait for somebody else to give me what I want. I hated that. So, that's why I guess it worked out either way, because, like, it was just the mentality and how I came up as a kid, from how I thought to how I carried myself and how I moved, Do
you think that's something you're born with, or you think you picked that up along the way, like from watching people in the neighborhood or people in your household, or?
Definitely born with that, because you could still be around hustlers and be a lazy person, you know. You'll be around people who put in work and not put in work. So I feel like it's really who you are as a person, what's in your bloodline, you know, what's in your, like, how you come up as a kid. I feel like for me, it came with me. It's just who I am as a person.
Yeah, you have that line, "Baby face but old soul." I forget what the exact line is, but that's the sentiment of it. I remember.
Oh, yo, Alma de hombre. It was a Spanish line for it's like the kid, the face of a kid,
Yeah.
but the alma de hombre is almost like, but you feel me? Like, but I have like the heart of a grown man, but I move like, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Take me to, I remember looking through your IG and seeing a battle. You must have been like 13, 14 battling. Yeah. Take me to those early days. You remember what your first battle was and what you were feeling?
My first battle, it was probably in middle school. What I was feeling, I knew the kid, like we was friends. At first I was nervous because I'm like, yo, I'm not losing to him. Like, nah, we're not doing this. But then, I mean, it went out cool. Like, I don't recall ever losing a rap battle. Like, if somebody sits here and tells you, yo, I beat J.I in a rap battle, they line off the rip straight up, because I never lost a rap battle. The one with me as a kid, I was like 14, 15. I was 14. I came off a television show, and this kid in my neighborhood was talking shit. Like, he was just making posts like, yo, this kid is whacked. I'm just like, yo, bro, like I know you personally. Like, I've seen you. Like, you're nobody. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? I know the type of kid you are. Like, chill. Like, stop. So I had my friend pull up on a kid, and my friend rap battled him and just destroyed him. So I'm like, damn. Like, nah, actually, I didn't even have my friend pull up. He just did it off the string. So I saw that, and I'm like, shit, like, my friend is fighting my battles for me. I can't do that. That's embarrassing. So I went the next day and just flamed the kid, like, destroyed him. And it was just, like, I was going to not do it and just ignore it, because I don't like rap battling. I don't like doing that, like, because you could lose. You understand me? You risk the fact that you could lose and get embarrassed. And if that shit happens to me, I would hate it. But for me, it was just like, yo, I've seen you grow up as a kid. Like, you're really coming at, like, you really gonna throw my name in the dirt like that? I felt like it became like a must. Like, it became more of like I was obligated to go now. Like, I have to shit on you now. Like, that's what it became. Like, I'm trying to ignore you, but you keep, like, everybody's coming back to me. I can't, let me just come back and give y'all what y'all want. So I did that, and then it went viral. And I mean, did I do any other rap battles after that? I don't remember, but that shit definitely went back viral. So I think it's like the first post I got on my Instagram. I had like a green long sleeve shirt on with an afro.
Yep. You mentioned the TV show. You're 14. You're in a rap reality competition show with Jermaine Dupri. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, I was nervous at first because this was all around the same time period. I didn't really have experience. Like, everybody else on that show, they had that over me, the experience. They had been on shows, like, performing. They had already did music videos. So they kind of got the basics of it. They already dropped music. For me, it was like, this is all my first time doing it. Like, I dropped my first music video to get on that show. I was releasing music to get on that show. I wasn't doing no shows. So everything was new to me. And then, I mean, for me to go on that show and do what I did and hold myself down the way I did, that's pretty dope, because you feel me? There was kids on that show with experience, breaking down every week, fucking up, messing up, you know, just messing up their lyrics or doing something wrong. So for me, a kid that had no experience whatsoever but a dream, and for me to go on that show and really hold myself the right way, like, I applaud myself, because I was 14. You know, you're a 14-year-old kid. Like, what 14-year-old kid knows how to really hold down their composure and really hold themselves down? Because this is reality TV. They choose how they want to make you look. You understand me? Like, they have certain things that they could do, and just if you want to look like a dickhead, they're gonna make you look like a dickhead. So for me, just holding my composure, it's really shocking that I was able to do that at such a young age, where, you know, I'm on a show with other kids and they're getting bashed every week from the audience, or, you know, it's just different. And I thank God for the experience, but I also thank God for where I'm at now, because when you come off of a television show, there's so much labels that come with it, so much categories people put you in, you know, and it becomes hard to really like gap out and reach out and really expand your sound and your music until you come up with a hit. Like, that's pretty much what you need nowadays. You need a fucking hit to prove people wrong. So that's when my hit came. Last year we dropped a body of work, and from there the conversation was different. Like, okay, like this kid, like, all right, he's making music now. Like, he has a sound. So that was my main thing. Like, what's my sound? What do I like? Who am I? What defines me as an artist? And from the TV show up until now, it took me 3 to 4 years just to find that, you know?
Take me back. You're done with the TV show. Before you had your hit, there was a moment in that life where you thought about quitting, and I think you were going to go into construction. I don't know if that's what your pops was doing or what. Take me to that period of life. Like, how do you go from being on a TV show, there's some hype around it, and then the hype kind of comes down, what happens after every TV show happens, and then you're kind of left with reality. Like, what was that moment in your life, and why did you think about, stepping away from rap?
Well, that was the gap I took from 14 to 18. Just, for me, it was, what put the stamp on it for me was when I got booed off stage my last performance in New York. We had like a little event in Manhattan for Fresh Empire, I believe is the name. And I hadn't performed in a minute. Like, I had just came off of tour. So this was 2017 to be exact, because this is what I went on my first tour here. I took a gap for 2 years just off of like, and that's crazy. Yo, it's really crazy just me thinking about it. Like, I let 2 whole years go by. Because we're in 2021. This was 4 years ago. Like, I let 2 whole years go by just because I got booed off stage. Like, because I felt like I had to find myself, you know? It took me a minute to really find myself, because I just felt like, obviously, I don't got something that they want to hear if they boo me off stage. Like, after they booed me off stage, like, it got to the point where I shut everything down, and I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this no more. Like, I can't. The fuck I'm getting booed off stage for? Like, what happened? Like, what am I doing wrong, you know? So it took me a minute to realize, like, I got to change the whole route of what I'm doing. I got to change the whole direction. And from there, I just started doing different things, making different types of music, you know, being more aggressive in my music. And then before I knew it, everybody loved me now, you feel me? So it just, to fast forward, just to see where, like, how like the whole journey is crazy. And it's really like, I don't take it for granted that one bit. That's one thing I don't do for sure, because I'm here for a reason, I feel like.
What kept you from walking away when you thought about going, getting a construction job? Like, when you thought about, man, maybe this isn't for me, people are not appreciating my music. Like, what kept you?
God, because I spoke with God every day, like, and I don't force my belief on anybody. I believe in what like, as an individual, you believe in who you want. But for me, it was God. Like, I spoke with him. Like, I remember speaking with God, like, yo, God, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't have no money. I'm running low on money. Like, my life just went left. It's time to do union. I was gonna join the union with my father and just do construction work. And then before I knew it, everything it took a turn, yo. Like, it did a little spiral 360, and before I knew it, I was able to turn everything around and just, it's really, I'm really thankful, because it almost seemed like it was meant to happen. Like, right before, like, I reached my lowest point, almost on some, like, wow, like, this is the end. Like, this is how it ends. And just to see it, like, really do a 360 flip around, and, just to have my favor, and just to really be able to, like, see what I prayed for come true in front of me. That's a different conversation. Like, that's really something different. It's overwhelming at times,
It's crazy that you said that 8 Mile is a big role in your life, because it kind of reminds me of, when he got booed off, and then,
Yeah.
he had to go find that extra something to come back and step into the stage again, and, try it again and give him another version of himself.
And I had an 8 Mile moment too. This is the crazy thing, because that's why I love that movie so much. I feel like things just work out for a reason. Back to the television show. After my season, they had called me for another season to do a rap battle, right? So the whole concept was like, let's say you got a partner, you and your partner are gonna verse me and my partner. We're having a 2-on-2 rap battle. So that day, as I'm flying to Atlanta to film the season, I downloaded the 3 rap battles from 8 Mile at the ending, when he rap battled Papa Doc, he rap battled Lotto, and whoever else he did. So I downloaded all 3 of those battles and I'm listening to them. Yo, the same day of the rap battle, my partner got sick. So I had to rap battle everybody by myself. So it was me versus 2 people at a time. And yo, I beat everybody. So it's just crazy, like fast forwarding, like, yo, holy shit, 8 Mile is my favorite movie. And my name gets booed off stage, he chokes, then he comes back and yo, it was just crazy because I was able to like come back and just destroy everybody. And then I'm like, yo, this like, yo, it's just crazy how it worked out for real. Like Eminem, like that whole movie was just my favorite movie. So to have like my own 8 Mile little moment, it was legendary.
It makes the moment that much sweeter when you get to sell out 3 nights at SOBs, I'm sure.
Right.
So take me to this time. You know, you're done with the show. You're gonna do the construction stuff. You go back into rap. During all this time, are you also going to high school?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. So how are you dealing with all that? Like in the middle of like, you're flying to different auditions, you're trying to do the rap thing, you're hustling to figure out how you're going to make some money. And then on top of that, you got to be, a student, you got, classes. I'm sure kids at school are seeing you on TV and thinking, you're about to, be the next rap superstar. Like, what's it like for a teenager to deal with all that?
It's hard because for me, I'm obsessed with this, yo. Like, I'm not just somebody that just wants to rap. Like, this is my life. Like, this is my lifestyle. Like, this is who I am. So, yo, I would be anxious every day. Just, what it's like to wake up and not be somewhere that you want to be in life. That's, like, horrible. I feel like you wake up every day just knowing, like, yo, like, shit. Like, I'm one step closer, but I got more steps to go. So, for me, like, managing everything and just, it was hard because I got kicked out of my mother's crib too at that time. So it was just a lot of bullshit going on. My mother was managing me at that time. So like, it was just a lot of BS for me. And I'm thankful because that's exactly what it was. It seemed like everything was lined up against me. And I still ended up like flipping everything and just using the odds against me to use it as my advantage and still succeed. Like that's what shocks me every day because I'm here where I'm at, and I've gotten farther than the goal was to get. I've gotten farther than I thought I'd be, just off of what I've accomplished, what I've done, and I'm super thankful. So just to like really remember how I felt every day being 15, 16, wanting to be this superstar and not being that superstar, to be where I'm at now, I don't take it for granted. Don't at all. I can't.
Take me to the moment you created Need Me. That obviously changed your life. But like when you were creating it, did you have any idea that it was going to go gold?
Nah, I no, because I freestyled it. Like I was freestyling all my other records. I had records before Need Me that had way more. I felt like just had way more heart and pain into it. I'd put more blood, sweat, and tears into these other records. That when Need Me blew up, I was like, okay, what's going on here? Because that was unexpected. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, so then once Need Me blew up, I dropped like a whole project, and the whole project just blew up. And from there, it was just bananas.
What's your creative process like? Like when you're in the studio coming up with a song, are you like melody first? Do you wait to listen to the beat and then like write, or do you jump in the booth and like let whatever comes to you first? Like I know everybody's kind of got their own process. What's your process?
I do a little bit of both. I used to just go to the studio with not freestyles, with songs written. And then away from that to just me freestyling every record. I freestyled almost every record I made just off the top of my head, going to the studio just to lay down tracks. I barely write anymore. So it's pretty dope, like, me developing new techniques to record. But like every now and then I try to write a little bit just so I could like, get that little feel back into the record. But majority of my records are freestyle.
What's your intention behind your music? Do you have like a purpose that like inspires you to make music, or is it just kind of like every song kind of has like its own little feeling depending on what you're going through at the time?
That's exactly it. I want to make music and just have different amounts of music. It doesn't even matter who my music is for. It matters what you're going through in that time, and if you relate, you understand me. My music's for everybody. I feel like I'm constantly pushing myself to make different types of music too. So I wouldn't limit my sound for sure.
If you had to pick a favorite verse you ever written, can you think one off the top? Most proud of.
Let me see. Because I've had some verses. Damn. You know what it is? Yo, I have so many. I really don't know. I'm trying to think. I would maybe Company. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. I could get revenge, but there's no point. These niggas pussy. I push the whip, that little make him open wide. Oh, I like that song because it was a remake of Tupac. So yeah, for me, when I made that record, I'm like, yo, Tupac is like my favorite rapper. I get to like remake what he's. That's how I saw. Like, I'm gonna start off this record just flipping what he said, and then I remember releasing it, and then yo, there was people that literally said like, yo, you stole that from Tupac, or you stole that from I forgot who said that after Tupac. I think 50 Cent or like somebody else said it, and they were like, yo, you stole that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know y'all thought I would steal it. Like, I was just trying to reference it, but that's from Company. I think that I remember that because I remember how I just came on that track. That shit was different. But yeah, Company. That was like one of my first records that blew up.
It's funny, like I feel like Jay has done that most of his career, where he plays homage to like different rappers by taking what they said and then slightly flipping into something else. So it's like artists been doing that, since the beginning. So it's kind of funny that some people will be like, "Oh, that's an homage," and other people will be like, "Oh, he's copying that." It's like,
because that's the thing. Like, if you hear a track that I remade, it impacted me as a child. I remade a track called "When You Cry" by another legendary group, dancehall. So, I've had people accuse me like, "Yo, this kid is just known for stealing records." I'm like, the fuck, like, like what are you listening to? Like, I'm not stealing these records. These are classics to me. These are records that I grew up listening to. So you're damn right, I'm gonna flip it and do my own twist on it. Like, I grew up listening to these records. So when people really like, man, that should be weird sometimes. Like, wow, like you guys, your head is in a weird place for real.
But your catalog, I feel like, is deep enough to where you can see, a lot of different versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of versatility, you've been doing more stuff in the Spanish side of things. I mean, you hooked up with Myke Towers. How did that happen?
That happened through just the connection to my manager. Myke Towers was a fan of me already. He was already in tune with what I had going on. I was a fan of him. So when we kind of did the record, it worked out perfectly. And then we dropped it in PR. When I went to PR, we had just dropped it. And I kind of saw like the effect I had and just like what the people over there were listening to. That shit, I got obsessed almost. Like, I really got obsessed with where I'm from. Like the whole culture, the people, the music. So I met with a producer, Hydro, from Mumble Kings. And he played me the Suficiente record that's on my new project. And I was like, wow. Because at the time, my favorite record is this record called Sigues Con Él with Arcángel and Sech. So I was just bumping that song every day. And then he was like, yo, I have a record that kind of is similar to that. It has like a similar vibe. So he played it for me. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. So I took the record back home and I finished it. Like I structured it. I did everything I had to do to it. And I saved it for a couple months. And then that record is called Suficiente. It's on my new project that just dropped, Life Crisis Volume 3. And then I have another record coming out this next week with Sech and Dimelo Flow and Tyga. It's Dimelo Flow's record. It's called Girl Like You. It's I think it comes out next week, but that's a whole different. You're gonna see it. It has like a whole like dope concept to it. I don't want to ruin anything. I just want y'all to see it. But I got a lot of dope stuff coming. You
jumped on the track with Bad Bunny and Jay Cortez too.
Yeah, that one is going crazy. We can't really do much with that record because it's not our own record. But the response has been so dope. Like I really want to release it on SoundCloud because I know how it goes when you do remixes. Like I don't want them thinking I'm getting paid off of it or some type of copyright goes on. So I'm trying to drop it on SoundCloud, and then I want to remake the video the way they did it, but do it my own way. Oh my God, I think personally it would go crazy just because like it has like a whole English version. The record is huge, but if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. I ain't gonna rush it. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna find out from management. I'm gonna see if we could do it. But that remix is going crazy. Facts, the Dakiti remix.
I miss the old days of mixtapes where we could just have that and there's no copyright issues. You could just jump on whatever track you want and just put it out. Don't got to worry about the whole industry shit. Just do something because you feel it.
Right.
Talk to me about your first trip to PR. What was that experience like to go back? Obviously, that's your background. To go to the island for the first time. What was that like?
That was this summer. So it was recently. It was amazing. I mean, the shit that sucked was the corona. Right. Obviously, not everybody was outside, but it was different because I've never been there. Like, this is my homeland. Like, this is where I'm from. And to be there firsthand, like, my family's there, my grandfather's over there. Like, I didn't get to see them because I was in a whole different part. I was in San Juan, but you know, just to know that this is where my family's from, this is where my bloodline runs from, like, it's beautiful and it's overwhelming. So I found it dope that I was able to make that record, like, just off the inspiration of me going to my, you know, to my island. So that was really dope. I might go back over there and shoot a video over there. I'm definitely going back over there soon. But I just wanted to tap in with my people, you know, tap in with the culture, tap in with the music going on out there. So just to be able to come back and make a dope record, it was really dope. I had a good time over there for sure.
Speaking of tapping in, I heard you tapped in with a legend while you were there. What was it like to hang out with Tego?
Yo, he's different. He put me on my first private jet just off the strength. He talked to me about a lot, you know, just, you know, who you are. And he talked to me a lot about who he was too, coming up as an artist, like, you know, what he did. Like, I got a lot of like genuine cloth talk from Tego for sure.
Can you share some of those conversations? What were some of the things that you guys talked about?
You know, we was in a moment, like, me and him were both drunk and shit. So we were just talking like a lot of facts. But for me, it was just like, you know, for me, he was breaking down how he was different coming up, you know, how, you know, everybody was calling him ugly. Everybody had something to say about him. Everybody had something to say about his music. He was just telling me how, like, when he came out, people were dissing him, where he was from. Everybody had something to say. So he took time to really gather everybody. And then I think he dropped like an album just dissing people. And what he did was he had dissed himself, so nobody else could diss him. So it's like, I'm gonna jump on a track calling myself ugly. I'm gonna jump on a track saying everything that's wrong about myself. So when you jump on a track and it's time for you to speak about me, you have nothing to say. So that's exactly what he did. And then he ended up just destroying like a whole label. Like, he's really genuine, and I see how he moves. Cause like, when I got to the restaurant, because he has this famous restaurant that they closed down for him. When I got there, he was leaving like somebody's house, like just a regular neighbor. He was on their porch just talking to them. It was an old lady. And then he hopped the fence to go back to the restaurant, like on some, he's a regular person, like, but he's a legend. He's an OG. So just to see how he carries himself is so official, you know? And it was dope meeting him. Like, he's real for sure. He's a real soul. You don't come across a lot of people like him.
Yeah, Tego was always one of my favorites because you could tell that he had so many different things that he brought to the game. It was like he could make a song for the clubs, but then he could also make a song that would make you think about some stuff. He talked about what was going on with a lot of the discrimination and the stuff that was going on in Puerto Rico. So I've never actually met Tego, but I've always had a lot of respect for him. Any chance that we could see a J.I. Tego collaboration in the future?
I wish. Hey, I'm not gonna knock it. That's definitely possible.
Yo, if he put you on a PJ, he can put you on a track. So
right.
Hopefully for that debut album, that's something that we could see.
Thanks.
That would be big for the culture. Speaking of legends, a young legend, Drake, you know, showed you a lot of love on his IG live when, you know, he was singing along to those tracks. What was that moment like? Did you get to see it live, or did your phone just start blowing up and people what was going on, or what was that like?
Nah, I wasn't on it live. People sent it to me at the time, like, yo, he going live, he's bumping your shit. So I wasn't expecting it at first, because I'm just like, I was doing something else at that time. So my brother came to me like, yo, Drake is listening to you. And I'm like, oh, like, that's crazy. Like, at first I was hyped because, like, you know, it's Drake. So I don't know, like, I try to be level-headed about it because, like, you know, like, that's somebody that, like, for example, basketball, you got to look up to LeBron James. Like, if you really want to be, like, the #1 basketball player, you got to study LeBron James. You got to know that before I get to where I got to go, I got to face LeBron James, or I got to face the top player. So for me, that top player, in my opinion, is Drake, or somebody like Kendrick, or, I mean, for right now it's Drake. But so for him to, like, really, like, just take time, and he was singing my lyrics. It's not like he's like, yeah, this is J.I., he's coming up. Like, he knew my song. So to see that firsthand, it was really dope. And it was dope just to see that. I chopped it up with him a little bit. He gave me, like, a bunch of props, just, like, you know, saying he's proud of me. So who knows? Hopefully, you know, I'll get my name up there. We could definitely, you know, expect a collab. You could see something from the both of us. Who knows? Never know.
There's a lot of exciting collabs in the future in the making, man. We put it out into the world, and now it's going to manifest itself to happen.
Yeah.
Something that I talk a lot about is to me, the lack of Latinos in hip hop. I mean, like we said, before, I'm Latino. I grew up loving hip hop, and I feel like, there's this huge wave of reggaeton right now. There's a huge wave of Latin trap. But when I turn on, the mainstream hip hop radio stations, or when I'm in like the hip hop playlist on these streamers, like I'm not seeing a ton of Latin MCs. Like, and I put that, to me, there's hip hop, and then reggaeton is kind of like part, but it's not like it has its own radio stations, is what I'm saying. Like we don't hear Bad Bunny necessarily on the Breakfast Club, or we don't necessarily hear like the stuff that's going on there on different outlets. How does it feel to be, one of the few Latin MCs that's actually in mainstream hip hop? Because I feel like the music you make is hip hop, and now you're also doing some other stuff that could go into reggaeton and other stuff. But how does it feel to be, one of the few artists, especially coming out of New York, which has such a rich history in terms of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and like a lot of like dope.
I feel like right now in New York, and it's not no cocky stuff, but I think I'm the only Puerto Rican I'm probably the only Puerto Rican artist that's really doing that. I in my opinion, at the highest level I'm doing that, I feel like it's me. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to, because when I first came out, I saw bro, we barely have anybody coming out for us. Like, we have so many Puerto Ricans rapping, but the spotlight is not on us. Like, the spotlight is not on any of us. You understand me? Like, yeah, y'all could talk about the nigga that came out a couple years ago who got arrested and, ratted on everybody, but that conversation is different. You understand me? I don't even think he put himself in a different situation. I think he got himself blackballed. So that whole situation is different. Like, me and him, you can't, I've had people try to speak about me and compare me to him when I came out, but I just kept my mouth shut because I know who I am and the type of music I make. So I feel like I'm the only Puerto Rican major artist from New York really leading the way doing that shit. And that's amazing for me because now I see so many other people coming out. You got artists like CJ, the whoopty nigga that he's Boricua too, and he coming out too. So yeah, if I'm gonna lead the way and if I could pave the way for other Spanish artists to come out, let's do that. Let's have the city on tilt right now. I'm not a person that gets offended by seeing somebody else come out and try to, we need that. I feel like we need more Spanish artists coming out of New York, making us look right. We don't have enough Spanish people that make us look good as a fucking community, as a fucking, as a whole. We didn't have that person making us look right. You understand me? Because you saw how he made himself look. So that got nothing to do with me. I'm just saying, with me, I try to make myself look right. I try to carry myself the right way, and I try to make sure that the music I'm putting out is good music. That, I'm not half-assing my fans. I'm not, I don't have a gimmick. My gimmick is, I put out good music. That's my gimmick, believe it or not. So I try to just, like I said, stay level-headed and try to pave the way for everybody, because when I came out, it was very quiet for us. It was quiet for us. It was whispers.
Why do you think, I've been trying to figure this out on my own. There's obviously so many of us across the U.S., there's a ton of Latinos. A lot of us grew up on hip hop. I just wonder why that spotlight hasn't really been there for other artists. There's a big gap between Pun and yourself. And there have been, some Latino MCs that have come out, Joel Ortiz, Immortal Technique. There've been different artists that have come out in that period, but in a general, the spotlight hasn't been there the way I feel like it should, because Latinos were there since the beginning. Latinos were the breakdancers, the graffiti, the DJs,
I'm dying to open my mouth and say something, but you know what I feel like we need? We need a gimmick too, and it's fucked up, but that's what I feel like we need. Every rapper, when they need their album to sell, they go online and they talk shit for that whole week, and then their album sells and it does good. For me, I feel like I gotta come out with a Puerto Rican flag. I gotta come out talking shit. I'll run this shit. We run this shit. It gotta be on some, for us to really have the spotlight on us, we have to have the world mad. And that's what I don't want it to be that, but it has to start off like that. Cause I'm not gonna, if I come off full-fledged talking my shit, if I got the world's attention on me, I'm gonna use it the right way. I'm not gonna flop. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing it the right way. But that's what I think we need. We need to really come out I'm not hiding. We here. Whether or not y'all like it or not, we running the game. Y'all gotta fall back and really let us take our turn. Cause y'all, you feel me? But I don't want to do all that because y'all don't want it to make it a race thing or a heritage thing. I just love making music. You understand me? I don't care where you from. You want to make good music? Let's make good music. But yeah, we just need a spotlight. You understand me? Even if it takes one of us to get that spotlight, fuck it. I'm gonna put the spotlight on everybody else when I get the chance to.
And I feel like it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy. You know, I mean, Cardi's doing it on her end. You know, I love seeing that. You know, you're doing it. Obviously, there's a ton of artists doing it on the reggaeton side and Latin trap side. But I've been waiting for, as somebody who grew up on hip hop and wakes up and lives hip hop every day. I'm like, man, I want this to feel like it's part of the hip hop movement. Like, I don't want this to feel like, oh, some people making music over there. It's like, nah, yeah. Latinos have been in hip hop, in the middle of hip hop since the beginning. So it's great to see, you know, someone like yourself coming up. I'm gracious for all the time that you've given us. What can you tell us about? I mean, I know you're working on your debut album. What can we expect from that? And how do you see your debut album developing from all the EPs that you put out?
Well, first of all, a longer body of work. My fans hate when I give them 6 or 7 tracks. So I want to put at least like 15, 12 records on this joint. Maybe some dope features for sure. For me, I just want to push myself. I want to tell the story that I haven't been able to tell through these projects, you know? I want to be able to, when y'all hear this album, I want y'all to really, okay, like, this is J.I. And it's going to take time. I don't want to rush the album because, you know, I've just been putting out music. So I'm going to really take time to put this album together and really get in my bag. I'm excited, though, for sure. I got a lot of dope stuff coming soon.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to get to see your story through the music, because I feel like you got such a rich story. That, you know, it's like, I feel like the music is dope. The music's dope and it speaks for itself, but it doesn't get to show us who you are necessarily in all the tracks. So I'm excited to hear some of the stuff we talked about in the interview on Wax, and hear some of those stories of the different things you've gone through in your life. Because, you know, I'm definitely rooting for you. I know a lot of people are rooting for you.
Thank you.
What do you want to accomplish with your career? Do you have an idea of like when we have this conversation 30 years from now and we're looking back on J.I.'s career, like what's success to you?
Success, when I think of success, I think of just a all-around name that people know. So for me, I want to branch out and do different things. I'm going to do movies. I'm writing a series right now that I want to remake. Because I'm remaking records, why not remake a classic series? Fuck it. So I got something dope that I really haven't planned, and I don't want to ruin it, or, you know, so I'm gonna keep it on a hush. But definitely movies. I feel like, for example, I'm gonna throw out 2 names: Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez. Disney Channel and Ariana Grande, I'm not sure if she was on Disney or Nickelodeon. She was probably on Nickelodeon or Disney. She was on Nickelodeon, I think. And Selena was on Disney. But these are 2 different channels that turned them into superstars. And you see how they transition from that to music. My transition will be different because it's from music to acting, but that played a whole major role, because you ask anybody who Ariana Grande is and they know who she is. You ask anybody who Selena Gomez is and they know who she is. So for me, I want people to, it doesn't even have to just be music. Who's J.I.? Oh, I know who J.I. is. You know, I feel like there's different ways I could open the door to get my name known, and the music is always gonna be there. So I don't even if it's just me. For all I know, I might be in the #1 acting movie, and that's what really blows me up. And my music blows up from there, just off of me being in that movie. I wanna expand my name. I wanna expand my opportunities and my potential, because I feel like I could do anything. You know, this generation, there's so much going on. I definitely want to act. I feel like I could go crazy in that lane for sure, and I could do something that would shock y'all. You
can combine all the short stories that you were writing when you were young, and your talent, and then we can get the 8 Mile remix, the J.I. version. So cool, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Any last words?
Listen, HLK Volume 3 out now. Go stream it on all platforms. And that's it, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for having me, for sure. Anything else you need, just let the team know, and I got you. I promise.
Appreciate it. Next time you're in LA and we're not dealing with coronavirus, man, we'll grab a drink.
Of course. Say that, man. Be safe.
Appreciate you.